Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
I'm different. I'm a elite fighter. So that's the difference. Big difference.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, it's never the same after me.
Terence Crawford sent a chilling message to Canelo Alvarez, warning that he would defeat the Mexican star with the same ferocity he showed against Errol Spence Jr. Backing his words, Crawford urged Canelo not to underestimate him in their potential clash. He criticized the narrative suggesting Canelo holds the advantage due to his longer reign at the top and extensive experience. Crawford believes Canelo assumes he's seen it all, but that mindset could be his downfall.
I don't know. I just think, sometimes some fighters, they fight to their level of competition. And, I think he's definitely more experienced, with more well-rounded, given the experience that he had in a Floyd Mayweather fight. So we shall see. No, he just seen a lot of fighters. He's been through the boxing game for a long time. He got a lot of experience, and in his heart and soul, he feel that I'm not gonna show him nothing new that he haven't seen before. No, not at all. Like he didn't fought southpaws, he didn't fought orthodox fighters. So, he's been in the ring with a lot of fighters, and in his mind, he don't see nothing new that I can bring.
Terence said more about his thoughts, calling the fight a clash of legends to determine who's truly the best. He's confident he'll bring something special on September 13th. While many focus on his power, he believes it's his skill and ring IQ that will truly stand out when the lights go down.
I'm a legend too. So, we got two legends fighting each other, and I'm definitely, daring to be great. And I'm going to be great September 13th. I'm not taking no credit away from Canelo's skills. A lot of people, they only talk about his power, but he's very skillful in there, and, he's respected.
Giving it back in kind, Canelo didn't hold back on Crawford. He told him he hopes the payday is worth it because Crawford won't be the same after the fight. For Canelo, it's not just about the money, it's about leaving a lasting mark on Crawford's career.
We're gonna find out. And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but are you gonna find out? I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money because it's gonna be the last. That's for sure.
It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, it's never the same after me.
However, Crawford made it clear he's not worried about the noise. He spoke about how fans and critics might respond if he hands Canelo a loss, predicting that, just like after the Errol Spence fight, people will look for reasons to downplay his win. For Crawford, it's all part of the game, and he's ready to silence the doubts once again when the time comes.
So they're gonna make excuses. The same thing happened with Spence.
Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
You're gonna retire if you win this fight, or you're gonna keep going?
I don't know. We shall see.
It is what it is. I got the style, I got the skills, I got the heart, and I'm not gonna sit around and...
Tensions escalated at the face-off when Canelo shoved Crawford, sparking a heated exchange that nearly turned into a full-blown brawl. Security rushed in to separate them before things got out of hand, fueling an already fiery showdown. Canelo's fans erupted, chanting Mexico and raising their hands in support. Reflecting on the shove, Canelo Alvarez said it only fueled his motivation for what lies ahead. He made it clear he's fully committed to September 13th, ready to settle everything in the ring and anticipating a showdown that promises fireworks from the opening bell.
I'm turning on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13th?
I don't know, but made me feel more excited.
I love it.
I'm gonna train so far.
You know, I've been in this sport like so many years. I had so many good fights in my career, and I had the experience to adapt myself to these kind of fighters. I fight everybody out there, every style, and I'm gonna do my job and put all my experience, all my talent there, and that's it. You know, I'm different. I'm a elite fighter, so that's the difference.
Meanwhile, boxing commentator Sean Zittle weighed in on the intense shove at the face-off, suggesting it seemed staged. He noted that moments like these often align with the desires of event organizers, promoters, and fans, adding drama to heighten the atmosphere and inject more heat into an already massive clash.
No. That's not, there's 30 security guards.
It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used the big word that most of us don't know.
Sir, New York, that's a weak ass push by Canelo, and you know that is not Canelo. What he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. You know, he slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting a knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, and you know, but I don't want to get too deep into it today, but you know my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right? Is an after.
Adding to that perspective, the weigh-in gave his own take on the scuffle, noting that the tension felt different this time because of how quickly everyone on stage rushed to break it up. He compared the scene to a game of tennis, with Crawford and Canelo taking turns stepping forward, sizing each other up, and raising the stakes with every encounter, all building toward a fiery collision once the bell rings.
Watch Terence. Terence is not stopping here. He's walking straight up to him, way past Dana. Here's halfway. He's like, nah, I'm meeting you at your front door. And he's backing him up. Oh, and then there's the shove. Look at Bomac. Look at Bomac. Oh, shit, we got everybody getting in there. Reynoso, security, Michael Buffer. It's a game of tennis. It's a game of back and forth, because this time Canelo walks up on Terence. Like, yeah, okay, you got that one off. Watch this. Now, I'm going to push you back a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm going to push you back just a little.
Reflecting on Crawford's past battles, Sean Porter recalled Bud's fight with Errol Spence and how he overheard Crawford's camp admit their fighter wasn't even following a game plan. Porter later learned Crawford had confirmed it himself. He was so fired up that he abandoned his original strategy. For Porter, it proved just how dangerous Crawford is when driven purely by instinct and raw determination.
On my way out of the room, I was talking to his cousin, a couple other people, and I think it might have been Shakur, but somebody said, yo, he didn't even have a game plan. I said, what? He said he didn't have a game plan. He was asking us what he should do before the fight.
Shakur specifically, right?
So I think it was Shakur that said that. So then I talked to Crawford after the fight, and I know I talked to him on the podcast about this specifically, but then I talked to him afterwards, and I said, stop saying you didn't have a game plan. You had a game plan. He said, look, Sean, we had a game plan, but in the locker room before the fight, I just was fired up. And he said he had, even walking out to the ring, he had it like, you know, just so much energy, passion, dog. He wanted to go right after her, you know? So using that story again to relate to everyone, you're right. That dog is going to be there. And he understands that he has to be.
Echoing support for Crawford, English boxer Denzel Bentley admitted he was initially skeptical, believing Crawford had no business moving up to face Canelo. But as the fight drew closer, his confidence in Crawford grew. Now, Bentley believes Crawford can pull off the upset, noting that fans haven't seen Canelo at his peak in years, making the matchup all the more compelling.
Oh man, at first I didn't like it. I was like, come on, don't do it, don't go up there, don't do it. But I just got closer. I'm believing in Crawford, man. I mean, I think he can pull it off. We haven't really seen the best of Canelo in years. I think his best days were at 160. When I think of it, that Danny Jacobs fight, that's probably the best performance I've seen Canelo in all these fights. I know he's had so many fights where he had better performance, but in recent times, just the lateral movement, the elusiveness, the way he lets his shots go, the just effortless kind of movement and flowing of punches. He hasn't been that since then. Since he moved to 160.
Pushing his point further, Bentley didn't hold back in his assessment of Canelo's current form, describing him as little more than a powerhouse searching for one big shot. He argued that Canelo's sharp technique has faded, replaced by a slower, more static style with fewer punches thrown and minimal setup. Bentley believes this shift in approach will give Crawford the perfect opening to take advantage when they finally clash in the ring.
It's a powerhouse. He's slow with his feet, throws less punches than we've seen before. He's always looking for a big shot. That hardly sets anything up anymore. It's just his whole style has just changed, and it's worked for him because a lot of fighters go in there with that fear factor, like, oh my days, it's Canelo. Or he will wear you down at some point because he's so physical and strong, or when he hits you, you kind of don't want to know because he hits so hard. But I don't think Crawford's going to go in with that mindset. I think whatever Canelo brings, he's going to be able to match. He's got better feet. Even though at 154 his feet didn't look the best, but Majimov is a good mover. But he's got better feet. He can fight both ways, and I think he'll use more of his arsenal than what Canelo would use. So I think he would find it easier. So I think Crawford can beat him.
Tim Bradley echoed that sentiment, saying if Canelo couldn't dominate Charlo, he's unlikely to beat Crawford. Bradley was clear in his stance. He'd pick Bud Crawford any day of the week, believing Crawford's style and precision will be too much for the Mexican star to handle.
Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo. Or you really think he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the...
On the other hand, Showbiz the Adult offered his own take, claiming the fight was already decided the moment Crawford faced off with Canelo. According to him, Crawford's body language during the stare-down said it all. He quickly realized Canelo was operating on a level he hadn't encountered before. Showbiz believes Crawford's subtle reactions hinted that he might already be mentally behind before a single punch is thrown.
Oh, the press conference was ending. I was already scripting this reaction video to talk about how His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh has won the press conference until the bitter end, the face-off, and not just the face-off, the end. Can you please look at the end when Terence Bud Crawford made this face?
Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Terence Bud Crawford, Arabia.
The fight is over. See, I've seen that face before. I saw that shit on Rocky 3 when Rocky Balboa was staring down Clubber Lang. Forget that. I saw that face when Rocky Balboa was in the pool and Apollo Creed said, one more lap.
Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen.
That face is called the holy shit face. He stared down Canelo, and for the first time, he saw someone as great as himself. For the first time, he saw
Edgar Berlanga offered a balanced breakdown, noting that anything can happen once the bell rings. While he leaned slightly toward Canelo due to his natural size and weight advantage, he didn't underestimate Crawford for a moment. Berlanga emphasized that Crawford's technical skills are elite, making this bout far from a foregone conclusion and adding plenty of intrigue to their showdown.
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't.
Furthermore, Bob Arum didn't mince words when assessing Alvarez's current approach to the sport. According to Arum, Canelo no longer fights with the same passion to thrill fans, instead prioritizing big money bouts above all else. For the veteran promoter, this shift in focus could be a factor when he faces a hungry, motivated Crawford.
Has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think it's safe to say Terence always always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting.
At the same time, Arum acknowledged the danger Crawford presents, saying the quality of the fight depends on which version of Canelo shows up, the warrior who once fought for glory or the one now chasing paychecks. He questioned whether fans will see the hungry Canelo of old or the uninspired version from recent years, who's been lackluster and less willing to engage. Crawford's coach, Bomac, quickly responded, stressing that styles make fights, and in his view, Crawford holds the clear edge. He believes Crawford has superior skills, a smarter approach, and a stronger mindset. Confident in his fighter's preparation, Bomac promised that Crawford will take care of business under the lights. "I've always said, skills pay bills," Bomac stated. To face someone like Canelo, it's not just about offense, you need defense too. Styles make fights. He emphasized Crawford's superior technique and ring IQ, adding that raw power isn't the key to beating Canelo. The goal is to outbox him. If Crawford sticks to the plan and remains focused, the damage will come naturally. And if Canelo slips up, Crawford is ready to make him pay.
Never fought at 168. You think you have enough power to hurt the great Canelo?
Of course. I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just got to beat him. That's it. If he slip up, then, he will.
Although Canelo admitted he never imagined sharing the ring with Crawford due to the significant weight difference that once made the matchup seem unlikely, he acknowledged that in boxing, anything is possible. Now that the fight is set, Canelo says he's counting down the days until he steps into the ring for what promises to be a historic showdown.
Never thinking about the fight Crawford, I never in my life, because he's a low weight than me. So, but I never thinking about it. But that's the fun part of boxing. You never know what is gonna happen, right? And now we are here. And I'm glad to share the ring with one of the best fighters out there, and I just can't wait.
In American or in Spanish?
I'm gonna win.
Spanish first.
¿Ah?
In Spanish first.
Voy a ganar.
Voy
a ganar. Esa es la idea, ganar. That's the idea. Always in my mind doesn't exist a loss. I train, I put my best, I dedicate myself to this sport, and I'm just thinking about win, to make history, and this is not...
As the countdown to September 13th draws near, one thing is clear, Terence Crawford vs. Canelo Alvarez is shaping up to be more than just a fight. When the final bell rings, there will be no room for excuses as legacies go head-to-head. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe for more fight updates, and drop your predictions in the comments below.